Welcome back, Commodore fans. Today I want to show a quick update and a few new features of my 1541 Navigator app, which can read and parse Commodore D64 and D71 image files. I've prepared a disk with all the files I'll need, so let's get it loaded. On the left you'll see a listing of the files contained on the disk. To view any file, you just click on it and its contents are displayed in the viewing pane. Here's a quick rundown of the files it can parse. Commodore 128 Basic version 7 files and Basic version 2 files, typically found on the VIC-20 and 64 computers. An EasyScript word processor file. Actually, 1541 Navigator is able to display most word processing files. A fast assembler file. This is a new feature. Machine language files will be disassembled, and common useful addresses and functions will be identified. It's not complete, but it might help when examining machine language programs. Next, we have a word processing file from the Commodore Plus 4's built-in word processor, which stores the text as poke codes. So to view it, we select the Poke tab in the Viewer pane. We got Simon's Basic and Simon's Basic Extended files, SpeedScript documents, Super Expander 64 and Super Expander for the VIC-20. Turbo Macro Pro files. This is a new feature. Turbo Macro Pro files are now parsed and displayed as plain text. Previously, Navigator would only display a hexadecimal view of Turbo Macro Pro files, which are stored in a proprietary format. So now if you'd like to copy the text of your source code out for use in, say, CBM Program Studio, or whatever editor or cross-compiler you may use, just cut and paste it. I'll circle back to this later and demonstrate how this feature needs to be set up before use. Next we have Vision Basic files, which now show all the banks plus the metadata, if present. And finally we have an Epix Basic file. Epix Basic keyword tokens overlap with Basic 7, so the user has to select the Epix Basic token set from the Basic Tokens menu. Okay, now let's talk about Turbo Macro Pro files. And from now on I will refer to them as TMP or temp files. This process does get somewhat technical and involves using the command line in the terminal. If you're not used to doing that, watch the process through a few times before attempting. For 1541 Navigator to be able to parse temp files, you will have to download the Temp View program available at style64.org. I've included a link in the description below. A quick side note here. As of the time I'm doing this video, which is September 2025, TempView is an Intel-based executable, but it does work on Apple Silicon computers through Rosetta. In fact, I'm doing this demo on an Apple Silicon-based M4 iMac. So if you have an Apple Silicon-based computer and you haven't already enabled Rosetta, you will likely see a pop-up window about enabling it when TempView is first run. So to get started, open your browser and navigate to style64.org. Once there, click on the TempX link and then TempView version 1.3.1. And here you will find a TempView downloadable zip file. This zip file contains multiple builds for various operating systems. Go ahead and download it. Once that's done, go to your Downloads folder, and if it isn't already unzipped, go ahead and unzip it and open the folder. Another quick note, if you're concerned about possible viruses or malware, and you should always be concerned about that, now is a good time to scan the unzipped files with whatever virus scanner you use. Okay, if everything is good so far, let's move on. The folder we want here is Max OSX-x86_64. Go ahead and open it. As downloaded on my Mac, the TempView utility was not executable as it did not have its executable attribute set. So we're going to have to set it ourselves manually. To do this, open a terminal window and CD to the directory. I'm going to be lazy and just drag and drop the folder into the terminal window and press return. When that's done, type ls-l to list the files, and we see the temp view does not have its executable attribute turned on. To make it executable, we will use the change mod command, that's chmod. So type the following on the command line: chmod space +x space temp view, and press return. Type ls-l again, and we can see that the file now has its executable attribute set. And in the Finder window, we can see that the temp view files icon has changed to that of an executable file. One other thing we need to do is clear the extended attributes of the temp view file. Mac OS X puts a quarantine attribute on any downloaded file, and it's easiest to just clear it now while we're still in the terminal. We can do that with the extended attribute command, that's xattr. To list any extended attributes of the file, type the following: xattr space temp view, and press return. And you can see the com.apple.quarantine attribute. Now let's clear it by typing xattr space -c space temp view and press return. Now list the extended attributes again to confirm it was cleared. And it's clear. We're now done with the terminal, so close it and open the Applications folder where 1541 Navigator is located. Once you've located 1541 Navigator, right-click or hold the Control key and click on the icon. From the pop-up menu, select Show Package Contents. Open the Contents folder, then open the Mac OS folder. And now all you need to do is drag and drop the temp view program into it. That's it, you're done. Just backtrack to the top and launch 1541 Navigator to test it out. I'll open a disk image with a bunch of temp files. And there we have it. You can now see a plain text listing of your Turbo Macro Pro source code files, and can copy and paste them wherever you like. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, be careful out there.